Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites. How we feeling today? Hopefully we are feeling very well. Hopefully y'all are doing well. So, I wanted to discuss a clip. And this clip, I'm reticent to play clips. I don't know how everybody else gets away with it, but I never get away with it. Playing like news clips and stuff. So, let me see. So here's what I think I'll do. I think I'll just grab a quick screen grab. And this is the perfect one because this one is all teeth. Real quick. Because I absolutely don't know how everybody else gets away with it. But I don't want to have an issue later on with, copyright, blah, 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 blah. So this is what I'm going to do. Put a little overlay on it as it talk. And I want y'all to just hear. It's more important to hear what is being said anyways. Because I want to kind of go point for point. That never works for me. So I'm wondering if I should give a preface or not. I guess I'll give a quick one. This video is women discussing that men no longer want to work with them. And that men no longer want to work with women as a result of Me Too and, allegations and things of that nature that can be leveled against them. So we have the news anchor, and then we have the two other women that are being questioned at this point. So you know what? Without further ado, I'm going to share it. Okay. We're going to share the screen. I'm going to have to put some over this so you guys can actually listen to it. All right, here we go.
Gang, my favorites are here. Listen to this. A side result, an unintended consequence of the Me Too movement has popped up. Male executives and managers, some are now saying they are afraid to work with and mentor female colleagues in the workplace. So we're trying to find out, is it too hard to see the difference between mentoring and harassment? Joining me now to discuss, Tiffany DeFoo, founder and CEO of The Crew and author of Drop the Ball, and Shelley Zala, CEO of The Female Quotient. Tiffany, I turn to you first. So men who are making this argument, well, suddenly now I could be accused of harassment. I can't mentor women anymore. And we first heard this pop up from Wall Street. Bloomberg had an article. I took issue with it because I can't find any evidence where there was ever any extraordinary mentoring on Wall Street. We've never had a female CEO of a bank. So is this just an excuse?
So here's the thing. I want to talk to all the men out there who have this concern. I want to say that I feel empathy. I understand. You're concerned that you're walking on eggshells. You feel vulnerable in the workplace. You're concerned that your words or your behavior might be misinterpreted as being something other than who you are.
We don't know what the new rules of the road are.
Welcome to the world of being a woman or a person of color or a member of the LGBT community or a person with disabilities in the workplace. That is part of the experience.
Now I'm going to stop Big Teeth. We're going to stop Big Teeth right there. That's Big Teeth talking. We're going to stop Alien Mouth right there. Okay? I feel for the man. I feel for the man that thinks he gonna get some from that. Now, she's first of all, she's the victimhood narrative. The victimhood narrative. Yes, alien mouth looking like there's a little mouth behind it. And that's the one you really don't want problems with, that little mouth. See, the big mouth ain't the problem. It's the little mouth that you got to worry about. So the concern initially is raised that men have a concern in the workplace. They don't want to mentor women. They don't want to be in any situation with women in the workplace because it's too easy to be accused of some wrongdoing. Too easy to have simple words, simple interactions be construed as either being construed as something else, or the part that they gonna dance around in this clip is the flat out lies, where nothing was misinterpreted. It's just a lie. No misinterpretations. She didn't misunderstand what the man was talking about or what he was doing. She did not misunderstand his gesture or his words or his joke. She knew full and well nothing was wrong with what he said, but because of other underlying reasons, she decides sometimes to lie on the men. They dance around that in this clip, what you're gonna see. They don't really deal with the flat out false allegation completely. The flat out lie. Nothing happened. So there was nothing to misinterpret. We're just gonna lie about it. You're just gonna lie on you. Maybe she made an advance to him. See, so many different dynamics in the workplace. This is why I don't even understand how people still having stuff like work wife and work husband. I still don't understand that. I don't get that. The way these workplaces and work environments is toxic. I know y'all ain't fraternizing like that. at work in 2023, going into 2024, you're asking for it. Let me just say this. And I'm saying it to the men. Fraternize if you want to at work, because she coming in at work sashaying through the door and all that kind of stuff. And then you want to skin and grin with her. All at the water cooler, all at lunch break, all in the break room. You studied Kiki and TT and Hee all up with her. She'll be at the HR desk faster than you can blink an eyelid. Talking about what you did to her. And you know you ain't did nothing to her, or whatever conversation y'all had, she was down with that conversation. So any man in 2023, 2024 still fraternizing with these chicken heads at work. I don't care if she married. I don't care what her situation is or whatever she tell you her situation is, because you don't know what her situation is. If you still fraternizing like that, what you want somebody to do? Because you already in danger of just a flat out lie. So that's already on the table. You ain't did nothing. You don't fraternize. Whenever you speak to a woman at work, it's about work. So you already gotta kind of watch it and all that kind of stuff, because they'll just flat lie on you. But then for those of you that think it's cute, those of you that think it's cute to shoot your shot because she got a big booty walking up and down the hallway or whatever, y'all better cut and y'all better knock it off. I'm talking to the men, knock it off. Knock that off. Please don't get into the delusion of that ain't gonna happen to me. She ain't gonna do that. You don't, these hyenas, I don't know how long they got to do what they do to prove that they don't care who they do it to. Okay? You will be under the bus. You will find yourself under the bus wheels. The wheels on the bus go round and right. They're gonna go round and round on your head, because she gonna throw you dead underneath it. And she is not gonna lose no sleep. I promise you that. So you're fooling around with these little work wives. And the reason I'm targeting the men is because the men, if the work husband is not a danger to her, because men are not gonna run to the HR desk to talk about, she touched me. Y'all not gonna do that. Y'all not trying to get her fired. Y'all not trying to get her, you know what I'm saying, her life taken away from her because she, you know what I'm saying, said something lewd to you as she passed you by. Even if you don't like her, and even if you ain't trying to hear that. Y'all, men are not gonna be running to the HR department. Talk about when she passed me by and I feel so uncomfortable because she told me that she could see my print through my pants. Like, y'all are not having a existential crisis about this. Truth be told, neither is she. But if you tell on her, you gonna get in trouble. And if she so much as think about telling on you, you gonna be in trouble. So who gonna be in trouble? You or her? Huh? Whether it's the truth or not. Because if you go to the HR department and you tell them that she's sexually harassing you, they're going to look at you upside your head. They're going to try to ask you, well, what was you doing? Now you got to explain. Well, we was just in the break room by yourselves, and now it's accusatory, as if being in the break room with a fellow coworker is somehow now wrong. So now you got to explain that you was in there heating up an ice honey bun in the microwave. You weren't even doing that. You had an ice honey bun. You had a cup of coffee. You trying to heat that up. She came through, And she came over there. So that's just a PSA to the men. Leave them work wives and all they could think is cute. Leave that alone. Leave that alone. Leave them chicken heads alone. First of all, you don't know what kind of lies she feeding you. Yeah, I ain't got no man. She got a whole man. Don't do that. Please, please, please don't do it. Please don't do it. Anyway, we're going to go back to the clip. But she pulls out the victim card. Welcome to the world of being a woman and a member of the LGBT community and a person of color and a person with disability. They don't have to go through that. Since when do a woman have to be walking on eggshells in the workplace? Since when that happened? Since when does a member of the LGBT community have to walk on eggshells at work because they scared that they gonna get reported? Since when? Since when is a person that's doing work and they have some type of physical disability or something like that, when are they walking on eggshells if somebody's going to threaten or level a threat against them or level an accusation against them that could take away their entire livelihood for the rest of their life? Who's doing that? Who's going through that other than men? Straight men specifically. Only men go through that. This is not something that women have ever had to truly be bothered with in terms of losing a livelihood because of it. I don't remember no instances of men coming out with any such thing as a Me Too movement, a He Too movement, or no other type of movement where it could be weaponized against women and all you got to do is say that the woman said something or did something that made you uncomfortable. It might not have even been wrong or even offensive, but it quote unquote made him feel uncomfortable. So therefore your whole life got to get turned upside down. So we're gonna go back. Okay, let me put the overlay over it. Here we go.
Take a risk in showing up. You're concerned that you may be labeled as a creep because you compliment me on my beautiful dress. You know what? Sometimes I'm labeled as the B word because I smile too much. I think that we need to take this new experience that men are feeling in the workplace.
By the way, Black women really, gator mouth over here really got a nerve. Really got a nerve. Sometimes I'm labeled the B word because I smile too much. There is not a woman in the history of womandom that was called a B because she smiled. It's really about stop the cap. Really stop the cap. Anyway.
And actually channel it into something really positive, which is, why don't you work on creating a more inclusive culture and taking all of your frustration, directing it at the men who are making you look really bad, the bad apples, and not punish women in the workplace, because quite frankly, your whole enterprise is going to crumble if you don't figure out how to leverage and harness the ingenuity and creativity and talent of the women.
Shelley, take
false. False, 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 false. False, 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 and boop, false. Your empire gonna crumble? How, Sway? How, Sway? When men have been building empire and enterprise and business without women for how long? Remember when y'all wasn't allowed in no workplace? Remember when y'all couldn't go nowhere and do nothing for nobody unless it was the clean Miss Ann house? Remember that? Remember the only jobs it was for women was cleaning, cooking. You know, maybe they might have let you been a secretary. Okay? But you didn't have no real say and sway over what them companies, the biggest, largest, richest, wealthiest, most successful companies and business systems in the world have nothing to do with women. Nothing. Nothing. McDonald's serve some of the most processed, uninspired little hamburgers in the whole wide world. Okay, them little burgers is sad. Them some sad little burgers. Okay, folks is still eating McDonald's. I don't know how y'all doing it. Y'all know that's not beef, right? It is not enough cows in the world to supply the meat for McDonald's. Another story. Them some sad little burgers. Okay. They don't dissolve in acid. All kinds of stuff going on with them burgers. Everybody know about pink slime. Everybody know about mystery meat. Everybody, why them fries taste exactly the same. Who built the empire of McDonald's? It's a reason why everybody eat McDonald's. Not because it's the best food. And at this point, I heard they took away the dollar menu, so it ain't even the cheapest. Ray Kroc took an idea that two other men had and took it and made it into a system that could be duplicated everywhere. Not only the system of creating the burger itself, but the marketing of it. You understand that? The marketing of McDonald's is genius. It's genius. It's genius enough to have millions of burgers sold and everybody know it ain't meat. Everybody know them chickens ain't really chickens. And everybody going there still trying to get a quarter pounder with cheese, Big Macs, chicken burgers, chicken nuggets, and them fries. The ice cream machine ain't never working, so you can't get you a McFlurry or nothing. And they put way too much ice. They probably still putting too much ice in that pop. So by the time you take that third sip, you ain't sipping nothing but a little spritzer in that cup. And they still counting up billions of burgers sold. How many women does it take to uphold that enterprise? The business of McDonald's. How many women does it take? If all of the women from the executive level down to the woman that flipped the burger was removed from McDonald's, would it flop or would it succeed? Huh? I would wager that McDonald's would continue to sell burgers and fries and McNuggets and McFlurries in theory. If General Motors was to remove women right now, again, from the executive corporate level down to the female dealers, the females in the dealerships, Would General Motors fold, or would they keep on making cars? What about Amazon? What about Tesla? You name me a conglomerate, a corporation, or a business set that has been successful for decades, that if women was to stop being a part of it, it would crumble. So what is Shark Mouth talking about? Baby shark, do 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 do. What's she saying? Do 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 do. What is she saying? What is she saying?
The other side of the coin with me. You and I are both women who have been mentored by men. We have spent our careers with men, having lots of close personal social relationships. And many, many times people have said, well, how did she get there? Why is he bringing her? So there's not no truth to it.
Listen, I think the biggest issue today is we're living in a climate of hypersensitivity, microsensitivity. Men are afraid to do and say the wrong thing in today's post-movement era, which is a big issue. And look at us, there's so few female leaders. Leaders are predominantly men, and we need leaders to be our mentors. And if leaders, which are predominantly men, are afraid to be with women alone, we have a big issue. We have a really big issue. 3.5 times more men say today that they will not go alone with a woman for dinner. 5 times more likely men not wanting to travel with women.
This is a big problem. When we first heard this from Mike Pence, we laughed at it. We said it was absurd. And now if we're actually hearing this from business people, I am worried.
Well, here's the thing. There's lots of ways that the current system, as it was not allowing opportunities for women, for people of color, for people in the workplace to advance, because oftentimes when you choose a mentor, you choose someone who's like yourself. I think that this can present all kinds of opportunities for opening up the playing field to let more people get the kind of leadership development and exposure and insight and advice that they need. You don't have to have, if you're not going to have a dinner or a closed door meeting with a woman, how about you not have it with the young men either? How about you choose 3 or 4 or 5 up and coming people in your industry? How about you have a group lunch, right? Where you give your insight, you encourage them to then peer coach one another and form a crew so that they can support.
Womansplaining. This is Womansplaining 101, y'all. She sat up there and said, I want y'all to understand what this chick said. That was Baby Shark. I want y'all to understand what Baby Shark was talking about. Baby Shark said, this doesn't have advancement for women. And she's going back to all the victim cards. Women, people of color, alternative. She's going back to that and saying, usually when you pick a mentor, you pick up people like you, that's like you. And so it doesn't really give a lot of room for growth because a lot of the mentors are men. So now what she's doing is she's talking about, or she throwing shade to the fact that men have been the leadership. Men have trailblazed in these various industries and fields. Men have made the strides. Men have put in the work. Men have put in the hours. Men have put in the blood, sweat, and tears and carved the way first, so that he has earned the right to be the person that you look to for mentorship. He has earned that. He has worked to get to that place. So now anybody coming through the doors behind him, he the OG in the place. Whether that's a corporate OG a sports and entertainment OG, doesn't matter. Every company, every business, every workplace has pretty much got that person where you go over there to them. They know about it. They've been here forever. They know. So if you want to be trained, you want to be mentored, you want to know how to make it to these next levels, you're going to have to go through them. You're going to have to talk to them. You're not going to be able to bypass them. So gain the knowledge. Somebody's telling you something that he had to go trial and error for. He had to experience trial and error, failure, success, failure, success, success, a fail, a setback, a success. He had to do that to gather all the knowledge and nuances to give to somebody that he thinks is worthy and would be grateful and got what it takes to get to his level, or perhaps even further. And he's willing to spend his time, whatever time that may be, to pass that knowledge on. The work of a mentor is not easy. You want that man to be somewhere in a one-on-one situation because he want to mentor a little bratty, Me Too, dirty, back-footed hyena, so that when she gets mad at him, or if she feels like he's not giving her what she thinks he should give her, or telling her what she thinks he should tell her, or giving her the leg up that she thought or that she expected, or when something doesn't happen the way she expected it to happen, she can get in her stupid boneyard bag, and then now she can tell somebody that he's saying things that's inappropriate to her. And it'll be her word against his, because there were no witnesses either way. And we know that 9 times out of 10, it's going to be her word unless he has some definitive proof that it in fact did not happen the way that she said. And then he still might lose everything. Jonathan Majors, anybody? On trial right now. The trial for that chick, she lied. Had he not had definitive proof from jump that she was lying, he would be on trial right now. And he still was in danger of losing his work with Marvel. Folks still dropped him from their project. He still now gets a side eye, and he didn't even do nothing. If the security cam in the lobby had not seen everything happen from start to finish, Michael Irvin would be fighting a case. Had to put up a whole case. Say he wasn't doing nothing because she want to come up to the room. He's like, we not coming up to no room. We right here in front of everybody where everybody can see. And before any information could be released, confirmed, denied, or anything, he was guilty in the eyesight of public opinion. He was guilty for the people who was reporting on the story. Oh, well, he probably did it, and da-da-da-da-da. Cuba Gooden is another one. He felt on me like 90,000 years ago at a party. You don't know who bust up against you. Y'all shoulder to shoulder in that stupid club, and everybody brushing against everybody, and somebody might have caught a feel on your booty. And who knows? He might have caught a feel on your booty. But this was like 15 years ago, 20, 30 years ago, ma'am. How you remember a feel on your booty from 30 years ago? And you knew specifically that it was him. If you don't knock it off. We're going to go to a commercial. I'm going to come back. I'm going to get to the super chats. And then we're going to finish with this clip because all the sense that you hear is the white lady on the other side. So after these messages, we'll be right back.
Hello, my Crimsonites and all of my supporters. I invite you to go and get your copy of my new book, Reclaiming the Black Feminine, The Lies of Feminism and the Road to Recovery, on sale now at crimsoncure.com. This is guaranteed to change your perspective and positively impact your life. So go ahead now to crimsoncure.com and get your copy today.
So you want to go to crimsoncure.com, pick up your copy of Reclaiming the Black Feminine, Lies of Feminism and the Road to Recovery, on sale now at crimsoncure.com. So I've already secured a person to do the reading for the audiobook. So I got my fingers crossed that goes the way that I think it should go, or hope that it goes. So you guys be on the lookout. I'll have updates as they come through on the progress of the audiobook, but I expect it to be completed by February or March of 2024. Thank you, Luke Casey, for your super sticker, sweetheart. Thank you, Southside Militia, says she need to let me hook up that taper. Thank you, Sam, for your super sticker. I appreciate you. Thank you. The International Quiet Song said, boop, boop, boop. Thank you, Black Male Spirituality said, women got played by low quality, lying women. Thank you so much. Okay. So I want to go, I owe y'all a bam, 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 bam. You got to hit the like button. Bam, bam. You got to, So go ahead and hit the likes if you have not hit the likes already. Thank you, Shelton. All her jibber jabber was extremely tasteless. It is. Let's go back to this video because I actually do want to get through it.
Support one another. I think there are all kinds of ways in which we really need to think about how we advance talent, how we support people, that opens up the playing field for everybody as opposed to being more exclusionary. We don't want to go in that direction.
In a formal sense, that will be fantastic, but it is also those informal connections that really make a huge difference in people's careers. And do we run the risk right now of losing that while the rules of engagement are so unclear?
Well, I think that's why it's time to rewrite the rules. I think it's time.
But who's going to rewrite them, and then who's going to tell us what they are? Because I don't know it.
Yeah, I always, we always say it takes a village to raise a family. What is the 21st century today of a village? And I think it includes our companies. And that's what we have to really be thinking about, creating a culture of care, a culture of safety, a culture of security, a culture where we all belong, a culture we can thrive. We cannot go backwards. This is a trend that is a really scary trend. And the way to move forward is with positivity, proactive solutions for change, and getting all of us to own this responsibility. And when you think about it, what's okay and not okay? There's a range of men from clueless to creepy to classy. There's 3 categories, right? And I think in the post-movement era, we just need a new education of what's okay and not okay. And every generation has a different perspective. If you tell me I look nice, I'm going to say thank you. If we tell someone else they look nice, they might be offended. So before we call that bad behavior as bad behavior, let's first point out that it makes us uncomfortable. Give someone the benefit of the doubt that they might not be aware of the fact that I'm not comfortable with that.
All right, we're out of time.
Yeah.
Clueless, creepy, classy. We know that we need everyone to open their hearts, open their minds, open their doors, because we want to do better collectively together.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes.
I found that whole clip to be so disingenuous and distasteful. I found it to be offensive also. And the reason why I found it to just be arrogantly offensive is that 3 women had the audacity to speak for men. 3 women had the audacity. No one thought to invite a couple of men. Maybe men who had been in a situation where they had been accused falsely of some type of harassment. And maybe they lost it all, or maybe they were in danger of losing it all. All because a simple interaction led to all this foolishness where he lost things. What about that? What about having men there to give you their experience? I found it so arrogant and pretentious to have a baby shark and 2 women sit there and try to discuss how men should move in the workplace as if they're not the victims or the vulnerable ones in the workplace when it comes to allegations concerning harassments and inappropriate behavior and so forth and so on. That's what I found appalling about it. So we ain't gonna talk to no men about how men feel about this situation? What? We're not going to get any men to say these are the real issues that men are concerned about in the workplace. It's not that we don't know what's not appropriate, because we will boil it down to the actual brass tacks. And we will not have a side conversation at all. We know how to do that. What we're concerned about is even when we do that, talk to the women in the workplace about work strictly. There is no, smiling and laughing, and we're not having extracurricular conversation. Even if it's innocent, we're not having any extracurricular conversations. We're not going to lunch together. We're not taking breaks together. We're not doing any of that. We are coming into work. We are putting our heads down. We are doing our work. If there happen to be women in management or coworkers of women, and we have to work with them, we will do that. And then we will go home, because the only person I can control in that space is me. So even when we do that as a group of men, you can still get lied on and still get your livelihood snatched from you at best, facing possible criminal charges at worst, depending on what the accusation was. Why not let men say that instead of two Karens and a predator get to sit up there and talk about what men are going through. The problem among many is that she had it all wrong when she was talking about how industries and things like that are going to crumble without women. No. They're going to crumble without men. They're going to crumble without men. If men stop, everything stops. Winter is here and women brought it in. They opened the door, they opened all of the shutters and the windows to let all the cold air, frost, and snow inside the house. And then they want to try to complain that it's cold inside the house and that there's snow in here. But you open the door for all the foolishness. Exactly. They were sitting there victim blaming. The men were the most vulnerable ones, and still somehow, some way, it was still the men's fault because men don't know how to act, and men don't know what, and men are creepy, and men just shouldn't be creepy. You know what? Y'all are asking for these companies to start doing either splitting up the genders. All the women work on this floor and all the men work on that floor, and we shall have no interaction. Y'all are going to mess around and create an aspect of Sharia that you don't want. And that would be the separation of the genders. That's what y'all are asking for. That's women are asking for. You don't have any foresight. This is what no foresight gets you. Because y'all think y'all can be out of order at any time, everywhere, in every area and sector of your private, public, and professional life. And men are supposed to just be the same and never change and still deal with you the same way that your forefathers dealt with your foremothers. But you are not those women. You want to be wild and uncontained and uncheckable, and nobody can tell y'all nothing, and everybody's got to companies and infrastructure and societies do not run on the whimsy of women's feelings. Civilization and society does not and should not run based on the whimsies of a woman's emotional state. What I feel. See, what they're going to start doing is, since you can't get over your feelings in the workplace, and the workplace so dangerous for you, take you out the workplace. Take you out the workplace. We're not going to stop the workplace. We're just going to stop you. And we're going to do it under the label of protection. We're protecting you. We're protecting you. You cannot work around men. Men are dangerous, right? Men are dangerous, right? So why would you want to work around dangerous people, potentially dangerous people, people who could grape you at any moment and all that kind of stuff, right? Right? Correct? So we're just gonna remove you from the dangerous party. Because we're not going to grind the economy to a halt by shutting down every workplace for every female that come running and come crying wolf. We're not going to do that. We're going to even eliminate the real allegations Because if you're not around, they can't do it to you. Just take you right on out to put you back in your house. Put you back the very place feminism told y'all that y'all didn't belong and that y'all was too good for. They're gonna come right back around, swing back around, spin the block, and put you back in the house. It's the only place you're safe. It's the only place we can't hurt you. The only place we can't hurt you is in a house. Somewhere sit down and you crochet and you watch Tubi movies to your heart's content. We give you a coupon for Uber Eats because we know you don't cook. We give you a Uber Eats voucher. It'd be worse than a Section 8 voucher. We give you a Uber Eats voucher. Because you don't cook. And we just sit you in the house. Because you can't take the workplace. And feminism got you here. It told you could handle the world of men. And you can't. You've weaponized what once was looked upon as like a tragedy, or was looked upon so shockingly because it happened so rarely. So rarely would a woman have to come out publicly and say, that her boss was harassing her and this and that. That used to be, and then she used to cry. So everybody feels sorry. Because why would she lie about that? Well, there is no comeuppance for lying about that. Oh, now there is. Now there is. Now there's an incentive. Now there's a heavy incentive, in matter of fact, to lie or to exaggerate greatly any incident, real or imagined. And you can cry to somebody and say, well, he said this to me and I felt so vulnerable and I just didn't feel safe at work. All you gotta do. And everybody come running. And we wag our fingers at the men. Don't you do that to these women that just coming here to work and you're being a creep and you're not controlling your sexual urges and you're just being a brute. And when women saw that men were going to get, they said, oh, bing bong, got him. I can do this spitefully. I could just lie. He'll lose his job. Because I don't like it that he turned me down. And all I gotta do is spin the story and tell them that he said it to me. Get him in trouble. Ooh, his wife might leave him too. Because if he got in trouble from work for flirting with a woman, oh, this is juicy. Please. This is women thinking. This is hyena thoughts. Hyena thoughts. Men don't think like that. Lionesses don't think like that. But hyenas do. These hyenas will snatch your soul out your body and lick her fingers. So all that work fraternizing, just go ahead, kill that noise. The women are going to find out a very hard lesson about trying to alienate men and twist their arm, using the system and the environment to twist men's arms and make them accept their submitted position under a gynocracy. That's what this is about. The men are not allowing us to make them 100% subject under gynocratic, whacked out rule. And we're concerned that the men are deciding in various areas, important areas of society and community, to simply opt out. See, we didn't think that the men would just say no. We didn't think that there would be companies that men ran where the unspoken, unwritten rule is that we don't hire women. We don't even deal with them. We don't deal with women at all. We'll take your resume because we are equal opportunity employers. We'll look at it. We'll interview you. Don't tell me men don't know how to get around a rule they made. Because for as many women can weaponize a rule, and y'all specializing in weaponizing a rule, men specialize in ignoring them. Just create a nice little loophole. Like, see how we can get through that? I just wanted to come here and say that. I think I got a couple more super chats. Thank you, Steve. Said, what up, good sisters and peeps? Had to take a break on the YouTube and social media. No problem. You know, I'll be having to take my break too. Thank you, Shelton. So I want to ask Baby Shark, when has it ever been not difficult for Black men in the workforce, as if we have some authority? Folk like her hurt us all. Thank you, Black Male Spirituality. Said defamation should be a criminal offense. Thank you, Frederick. Said I'm in a bind, Nate. Some other time I need that money, Nate. I mean, yeah. Thank you all for your contribution. Exactly. Men weaponize the women's movement. The trans gentlemen just use it against you. See, men are problem solvers by nature, and women don't have foresight. This won't end well for women. You don't have proper foresight, and you are trying to deal with a group that is problem solved by nature and will do so without emotion. Now you be getting mad when men be problem solving. The men say, oh, I can get into women's spaces and all I have to do is say I feel like a woman? Really? Y'all serious? Y'all gonna let me in here? This say women only. I'm coming through with a whole Adam's apple. I'm like 6'2". And all I got to do is tell somebody I identify as a woman. And women don't think that's going to be a problem. Right. Let me see if we got any cash apps. I try to remember this. No cash apps today. So jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.